Why you laughing? If you gonna laugh, at least laugh. What? This is great content. Shout out to y'all. Let's go. All your mom already said, let's go. Dance floor pro, I know, you know, I go psycho when my new joint hit. Just can't sit, gotta get jiggy with it. That's it, the honey, come ride. DKNY, all up in the eye, nada, butter, bag full of Prada, tuck it, get it to your friend, let's spin. Everybody's looking at me, glancing the kid. Did he see her dancing the jig here with this handsome kid, sipping cigar, right? Get a cue bar, I just bite it. It's for the look, I don't light it. Heavyweight bros bring you content all day. Yeah, say my voice is just like foreplay. Oh, Big Nasty style all in it. Yeah, because you know we all in it. We getting jiggy with it.
Nah.
Getting jiggy with it.
Nah.
Oh, yeah.
Nah.
Getting jiggy with it.
This guy's in his bag today.
Getting jiggy with it. And welcome, everybody. What is going on to episode 15 of the Heavyweight Bros podcast? Our first podcast in the year of our Lord, 2022. What is going on? I am your host, the 5XL assassin, the diabolical diabetic, your boy, Big Nasty. To my right is my co-host, as always. You know what I'm saying? The ad-libber extraordinaire, the COVID commander, the high yellow hitman, the freaking Diggin, my boy Uncle Razor. What's going on, man? How you feeling? You a real giggly dude right now.
COVID commander.
Yeah, you was wilding for 2 straight weeks.
I was definitely wilding, but I got my freedom papers now.
I was gonna call you the COVID kingpin, but I was like, COVID commander was better.
Nah, listen, hey, I am free. It's crazy because as soon as I got free, everybody else got captive. It's just like, hey, how you doing? I got COVID. Hey, how you doing? I got
everybody's
COVID.
Getting hit, boy.
Everybody is getting tore down. I am just not in association with it, so I feel good knowing that I quarantined the right way and I have nothing to do with anybody else being sick. Well wishes.
It has been a couple of days since our last pod, but it is January 1st, 2022. How have you been? How are you feeling? What's going on, man?
I've been good, man. I was happy, I made it out the quarantine right in time for Christmas. We talked about that.
Yep.
And today's my wife's birthday, so I got to take my wife on a little shopping spree, get a little, get it right,
And grand opening, grand closing, grand opening again.
Yeah, there you go.
It's a grand reopening.
There you go. But yeah, man, I'm just trying to enjoy this little bit of time off with the fam and, kick back, relax, get my mind right, get ready for this new year.
That's what I'm talking about. And like,
how have you been?
Oh, look at you.
Yeah. I'm listening.
I'm not gonna lie. Like ever since like the last pod, like it's been kind of a whirlwind. Like it seems like these last like 3 days like have felt like one day. Because it's like had like my cousin's birthday, so like we were out till like 4 a.m. that time. Then it's like New Year's, you're out till like 4 a.m. again. So everything is just like.
Yeah, I was asleep.
Did you make it to the ball drop?
What ball drop?
Your balls from out the side of your trunks.
I've seen 39 ball drops. I'm all set, man.
Listen, you never know when it's your last one. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so you got to get them in.
I get it.
But yeah, like I said, like it's been like a whirlwind. So like it's been a weird time to like try and digest content because it's like we're spending so much time with family. And like we're kind of not at the point where like everything's back to normal, like kind of like the reopening of like life, because like everybody does like their Christmas vacations and stuff like that.
Okay.
So like it's just a weird period, and then like like when probably by the time the next pod comes back, we'll be back in our regular everyday routines and stuff like that.
Big facts.
And it's like I want to say that's what I'm waiting for, but at the same time I'm not waiting for it because like not working is great. I can't talk about like the point like if. Like, why can't I just get paid to not work? Like, that would just be great. But it's just like, it's just
some of you big name companies. He said it from the first pod. He's ready to sell out, man. He doesn't want to work anymore. He wants to do what he wants to do for fun, for his employment.
That is this right here. Because let me tell you, this does not feel like work. I enjoyed doing this, and I would do this if whatchamacallit. Yeah, like let me tell you, like $45K a year, and I'll be like, I'll drop the pea skis to my job real quick. Like,
the pea skis,
like real quick. Like is that like that's not even like a big number, but it's just enough that I'll be like, okay, I can do this. Next year,
he's gonna say the pea skis.
Peace up, 8 sound down, Young Jeezy. Yeah. Just to give everybody like a kind of like a bit of a heads up, because like it is the new year and like it is the Christmas season. Like we didn't get to digest a lot of content.
Right.
So like this is kind of just going to be like our year wrap up. So we are still going to do digging in the crates and Insomnia Hour and everything like that. But it's more or less, instead of talking about new things that we are watching, we're going to reflect on like what we have watched and give like our top picks and stuff like that. Just so like, there was a lot of stuff on the cutting room floor. Like it was rough.
Tough.
But like, unless you have anything else to say, do you want to go get straight into it? Oh, how could we forget? You see this, you know what I'm saying, with this illustrious gear that we got on. So, you know, we got to give a shout out to our boy G Head over at Custom Merch. You can find them at IG. You always flick that joint so far. Like, you can always find them at IG and on Etsy at Custom Merch. If you go on there and place your order and enter the promo code Heavyweight Bros, spelled HW, the number 8 BROS, you can save 10% off your entire order. Again, that is Custom Merch on IG and Etsy. Put the promo code Heavyweight Bros, HW, the number 8 BROS, save you 10% off your order, because the more you spend,
the more you save.
Easy. Hey. And obviously we couldn't go any further. We're giving another shout out to our first ever guest that we had last week, but Lil Broski, you know what I'm saying? Derek Whitley.
The bad boy.
The bad boy wet. You can find him at Get With It on IG. You know what I'm saying? Go over there, book your little personal trainer, so that way everybody can get right. I know you guys got your New Year's resolutions. Everybody wants to get a little bit slimmer. Why not get slimmer with a winner? You know what I'm saying? And go hit them up. You know? And also, like, in kind of like tying into that, like after D was on, like a lot of people were kind of like, yo, I'm trying to get on. I'm trying to come on, trying to promote some stuff. Yes, listen, we're down to have other guests on the show, but I want to let you know, drug dealing is not a business that we are going to promote on here. So all y'all every time I'm just like, yeah, what you trying to promote? They be like, you know I'm out here. I'm like, yeah,
I'm outside.
Yeah, you gonna stay out there, bro.
It's legal, fam. You don't got no license.
That's what I'm saying. Is like, yo, unless you working at a dispensary or something like that. Like, yo, we promote legitimate businesses out here, no matter what stage you're at. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you got stuff moving, if you're trying to get started moving, you're looking for investors and stuff like that. Like, yo, we got you. But like I said, it's gotta be legal. Come on, fam. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
legit.
Yeah, we gotta come legit. Gotta come legit. With that being said, I mean, we could move right into it and let's start
digging in them crates.
Digging in the crates.
All right, so let's start off with albums. All right,
I got my whatchamacallit. I got my trusty clipboard.
Cheat sheet. All right, so there's a lot of albums that came out this year.
There is.
We narrowed it down to 5.
We do got honorable mentions.
I have some honorable mentions in some categories, not all.
Not all? Okay.
Not all. In this one, I do not have any honorable mentions.
Okay. Well, I do. So I'm going to name my 2 quick honorable mentions.
Okay.
I also want to point out that these are not just us saying that these are the best things to come out, because like that's kind of what happens is people get confused. Is like we say, well, this was the best thing that came out. It's like, no, these are our favorite. These are our favorites for me. Things that came out this year. And like, especially with most of the things that we talk about are music, TV, and movies, like those are art. And art is in the beauty of the eye of the beholder. So like, you know, just because something is one art that we're all able to consume, we all feel differently about said thing. So we can only speak about these things from our perspective. Also, we were not able to listen to every album, watch every movie, and watch every TV show. So like, if you want to go into the comments because we missed something, even if we don't talk about it, put it in there so that way we can get to it. But like, yo, listen, we are still grown men with jobs and families. We can't consume everything, but trust, we try to consume as much as we can. So without further ado,
well said.
Yeah, dang. This is our we decided to go with top 5 albums. So I'm gonna give my 2 honorable mentions before we go and give our top 5.
Go ahead.
I wanted to give 2 special shout outs. Man, it was tough leaving some of these off there, but like Benny the Butcher's Pyrex Picasso. I had it on there. And I really, really enjoyed the album. And like I was putting it up against these other albums, and I was like, why can't it make it? It's just not enough music. There's only like 6 or 7 songs on the tape. It seems more of a Griselda tape than just a Benny the Butcher tape. Okay. Too. So like I think like that is what knocks it off there. And the other thing was Lloyd Banks' Curse of the Inevitable. Wow. And it was like it went really under the radar. It was also like a very early release this year. I can't remember if it was January or February, but then it's like it got swept up in like that race of like everybody started dropping albums. So like Lloyd Banks kind of got left out there, but it was a really, really, really solid album. I mean, like with Lloyd Banks, the punchlines, the lyrics, the metaphors, like they're all there. And it's just like, it's really clean, but it's like, it made my honorable mentions. So that was on there for me. So how do you want to go about this? Do you want us to do like one of us do our whole list, or do we want to go like your number 5, my number 5? Like how you want to do it?
I didn't go in no particular order.
Why do you always got to be like that? I told you, I was like, you gotta kill your babies, man. You gotta rank your children.
All right, stop it.
So what do you want to do? You want to do from 5 all the way to 1?
Yeah, we can go 5 to 1. Okay. What you have at 5?
My number 5 was another Griselda album. It was Benny the Butcher and Harry Fraud's The Plugs I Met Too.
Okay.
I thought it was awesome. Like what I really at the tail end of 2020 got on this big Griselda wave and Benny the Butcher spree. I do feel like I missed them from the jump. And I was like, how did these guys get by me? And it's like I started consuming like a ton of their stuff. And The Plugs I Met one was like one of my favorite projects that they did. They came out with number 2, Harry Fraud, flawless on the production. Benny the Butcher, like he's got to be one of the illest out right now. Like he doesn't get the clout of everybody else out there, but he's one of the best rappers out right now.
Yeah, I think he was like, almost up for album of the year.
Last year, I think.
Maybe it was last year.
I think it was last year. I don't think it was this year.
Okay. Yeah, I like Benny. I like
Butcher coming.
I like Benny.
Huh?
The Butcher coming.
Yeah, I tried to not drop that. They had him at the All-Star Weekend. Like Benny the Butcher did the All-Star. I was like, what is happening? I was like, why are all my words colliding right now?
All right, so number 5 for me was Tyler the Creator's new album. I really enjoyed it, and I like the fact that he didn't change who he is to meet the needs of everybody else. He's just same old Tyler, same old fiascos on his albums. He creates his own content in a way that where he wants to express himself. And I just like people who can stay true to themselves. You know what I mean? And the music was good. I
don't know if anybody does it better than Tyler staying true to themselves, stuff like that. Because it's like, it'd be real easy. I'm trying to think of like the best way to put this. Like with his sexuality being such a big thing and sexuality in general being like such a big topic, like it very easily went the route of like a little Nas X and like kind of become like a caricature of himself. And it's like, it's not really that. It's like, he doesn't even really talk about it like in the thing. Like he might say like in interviews, but like his music just kind of like leaves all that out of there. It's like that. And it was a really awesome album. It's on my list as well. So I'm not going to say too much about it.
I think it cracked number 1 for a short stint too.
Yeah, because when it dropped after that big wave, after the whatchamacallit, Kanye and Drake stuff. So then he was like the first new, like fresh out of that beef thing.
Right.
We finally got back into
climate charts that quickly right after all that music came out was pretty tough. So
all right. We'll do a snake draft style. You want to do your number 4?
Yeah, I'll do my number 4. Number 4, we got Donda. I like Kanye, man. Kanye's my guy, man. I know a lot of people feel a little weird about Kanye, but you know what I mean? Again, he's just one of those people he's always been yay. He's always gonna be yay. And
it's just a different yay, though. It's not the same yay.
Everybody wants the old Kanye.
Straight from the go.
Kanye. I know, I get it. When you get older, you become a different person, man. He's becoming an older person, man. You know what I mean? And he's making sure that his music is still relative to his situations, his life, and it was not a bad album. I mean, I was kind of concerned of what he was going to put out there, especially considering he named it Donda, but he did not disappoint. So
I am kind of on the opposite spectrum of that. It didn't make my list or the honorable mentions. Like I said, like the time when we reviewed it, like I thought it was pretty disappointing. Like I think like it's a heavy album. Like there's 20 something songs on there, and it's like I just feel like there's only like a handful of them that are really like actually good songs, stuff like that. But like, I mean, shout out to him again. Like Kanye is one of my favorites of all time. It's just like, I have a hard time connecting to the new Kanye's music more than the person that he's become. It's just like, I feel like it's a lot more flash than substance. And I feel like it used to be the other way around. You know what I mean?
Maybe he's waking up.
Could be.
Trying to reach out to people. More specifically, Kimberly.
On that note, my number 4 was Tyler's Call Me If You Get Lost as well. So like, Tyler makes both of our lists. It was a great, solid, I think it was more solid than it was great. And it's just like, like we're in this time now where I feel like everybody's kind of rushing to put projects out. And like, he seemed like he took his time with it. The Don Cannon DJ drama of it, like that was a good like little nostalgia boost to it. I think he has like some song. It's weird because he fits in this in this space where like he could do songs with Lil Wayne, he could do songs with A$AP Rocky, but then he also does songs with NBA YoungBoy and like Lil Uzi, and like he doesn't sound any like more off base and stuff like that. And I think that says a lot to his creativity and like his versatility and stuff like that. And like I just thought it was a really solid album. Like I said, I don't think it was great. Like I do think it was really, really good though.
I see. You got him at 4.
It's my number 4. My number 3, a recent addition. That boy Nasty Nas with Magic, man. Like, yo,
I have the same 3.
Your number 3 is the same 3?
I have the same 3.
Like, yo, man, like I was just like, Nas and Hit Boy did it again.
Yes.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like these dudes, like
effortlessly.
I don't know what it is. Like they figured out like that. It really is like, I know everybody uses the same analogy. It is the peanut butter and jelly thing. It's like, why go away from this? Like, you know, we can make fun of it all we want, but we all know this thing right here is solid. Hit Boy's production is, it suits Nas's voice and his like, you know, the bars like just so perfectly. Like everything is smooth.
You can tell he's super comfortable on the tracks. And you also get concerned when people put out a lot of music consecutively like that, because it's almost like, all right, you're gonna drown out the stuff that I did like, and then you gotta mix with a bunch of stuff I don't like. Nah, this joint hits. I think it's kind of crazy too. Like I was listening to my Scully today before we came on. I was just like, yep, it's where I'm at with it.
Like in the year where we lost DMX, and it's like, you know, we were talking about earlier, it's like DMX is the first artist to put 2 #1 albums out in the same year, and they bookended each other. He did Flesh of My, It's Dark as Hell is Hot in the beginning of the year, and then towards December dropped Flesh of My Flesh, and it's like Nas puts out King Disease 2, which is already Grammy nominated, and then he puts out Magic at the end. So it's like this album could very well be on the next Grammy ticket, like as well. And it's just like, it's flawless, man. Like the whole time, like I'm like, none of these.
He was just trying to stamp his album of the year. You know what I mean? Just like
if that's what he was trying to do to me, he did it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, it's like, I got nothing else to say. Like, I'm not sure I'll say. Yeah. Number 3 on both of our lists, Nas, Magic.
Yeah.
So what you got? Number 2.
I got J. Cole.
All season.
I got J. Cole.
That Cole world.
Yeah, man. That joint hard. It is hard.
It's my album.
I don't even, there's nothing even else to say. Like there were very few albums aside from Nas that I could just like listen through to the album straight through and not have to worry about skipping nothing or being disappointed with nothing. Like you could literally throw that joint in and it's like, all right, do I have a long ride ahead of me? Because I want to make sure I hear this whole album.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like that front to back, that joint is hard for me.
Well, I don't really want to. I'm gonna save what I have to say for the off season, anyways, because like spoiler alert, I got it coming up pretty soon as well. But like my number 2 album was that boy Nasty Nas again with the King's Disease 2.
That's my number 1.
I know it was, and it was like it's like we have a weird thing where we flip flop, and like I think that just goes to show like how just great both of those albums are. I think that they are in the tier above all the rest of the albums in there. So how about we kind of like flip it a little bit? Like, so we talked a little bit, you did about the off season. So like, I'll say my piece on the off season and then we'll just say our piece on the King's Disease 2 after, since we both kind of just got them in flip flop spots.
Yeah, that's fine.
You know what I mean? So like I had the off season at number 1 and I'm a huge J. Cole fan. It's weird to say that like when Nas is on there too, because like obviously I'm a Nas fan like as well, but it's like J. Cole is just like, he's right here, man. Like that boy's close to my heart. And it's just like, it's another one of those albums where he does all the production, he does the writing, like he does all this stuff. And it's like, I don't know how to describe like why he needs to fight all the time to be considered in that top 3 with Kendrick and Drake. And it's like, he dropped that freestyle where he was like, oh, I'll take the bronze medal. And I'm like, no, bro, because I think the thing that separates you from them is you work harder than both of them. And like, you put everything in you, in your craft. You do the production, you do the beats, you do your own choruses, you do your hooks, you do this. It's like, yeah. And it's like, we talk about Nas and Hit Boy, and it's like Cole and Cole is like the best combination. Like when he was doing the Kill Edward thing on KOD, where he was like his own alter ego. It's like, this dude to me is in a league of his own. I think there's no bad, and like that's another thing too, is like there's no bad songs on either of these albums.
Nope.
So like, do you have anything else to say about the off season, or you want to put a bow on it there?
No, we can put a bow on it because we can go another 30 minutes.
That's what I'm saying. It's like, we're gonna put a bow on it. Off season was his number 2, was my number 1, and then we'll move to my number 2, his number 1.
Yes.
Nas's King's Disease 2, and I feel like we're gonna echo a lot of the things we said about Nas Magic, where it's like The Nas Hit Boy combo, bro.
That's literally what it is.
It's like, yo.
Like, I know I say this a lot, but the nostalgia of listening to the album is just like it's almost like Nas went somewhere and found Nas and was like, yo, where you been? He's like, don't worry about it. You found me. Let's have a conversation. They played a game of chess with each other, and the chess game ended up being the album. And he was just like, yeah, I don't need to do nothing else. Let's put it out.
I feel like him and Hit Boy sat down. Hit Boy listened to his last couple of albums and stuff like that. And he was like, yo, like, I'm gonna play this beat. And like Nas started rapping, and he stopped the beat. And he was like, yo, Nas, let me ask you a question, man. Why do you keep trying to rap like these young boys when you're not like one of the 5 illest MCs to ever touch the mic? Why don't you make them rap like you? And Nas was like, that's a really good mother effing point. And like, then they dropped this album. And I'm just like, yo, like, another one. I was like, there's no bad songs on this album. Nah. And it's like, that's the thing, is like trying to choose between J. Cole and Nas when there's no bad songs. It's like, who has the better songs? And it's like, that's even tough too.
Like I said, for me, like when I listen to Nas, like I can literally picture moments in time of my life when I'm listening to the Nas album. And it's just like literal moments where I'm just like, man, this brother is like soundtracking some of the most craziest parts of my life, like when you listen to Moments or Store Run or Brunch on Sundays.
I knew you were gonna say Brunch on Sundays.
I know I was gonna say Brunch on Sundays, man. But it's like when I listen to that joint, it's just like, can't nobody be around me in them moments, man. Like you
almost want to tear up sometimes. Like when you think about it, like you be like,
away from me, you are ruining this moment.
Oh, it's nothing worse when you listen to stuff and people start talking to you and you're like,
right,
what?
Right. What do you want? What do you want? All right. So we'll segue out of there. That's a pretty good list there, if I don't say so myself.
I don't think we have many lists that are many albums that are not on each other's list. I think it's just Donda. Then I got a lot of the Butcher stuff, and that's pretty much it.
Yeah. And no disrespect to Benny. I like Benny. All right. So we'll move on. We went to pick some songs.
Which was tougher.
It was really harder, tough, especially only doing 5. So what I did was I was just like, all right, I'm not going to go off of like what everybody's saying is the best songs or choosing from these songs that people already. I was like, all right, I'm going to go and see what songs I listen to the most. And I'm just going to take those 5.
I think this was a little harder because like 2020 and 2021 mushed together so much that like when we were talking about songs, we were like, ooh, got to put this song. And we're like, wait, that was 2020?
Yeah, I tried to put the locks on there. And
like there was a lot of like Drake stuff on here that I was like, oh, put this on here. And then I was like, damn, that wasn't even this year?
Nope.
And it was just like, yeah, a lot of this. So like that was kind of tough. It also seems like
I realized too that 2021 Drake was...
It's not the same. It wasn't up to snuff. It wasn't up to snuff like that.
I'm just making sure.
Nah. He just like he was a little soft.
Maybe he'd be all right. Nah, he made up with all the people he don't like.
He could probably drop the real album that he wanted to drop instead of CLB. Like, you know what I mean?
We'll see what happens. All right, so you want me to go first?
You could go first. I just wanted. There was something else I wanted to say, and I couldn't remember what it was. Just go ahead. What you got for your number 5?
All right. It's not in any particular order. All right. I know. I just went with the songs that I know I listened to.
I know what I wanted to say now. I know what I wanted to say. I'm sorry. I feel like ever since the coronavirus hit, right, we've been having a very, very, very hard time making songs or music that stick. Everything comes and it's like after like 2 months, no one listens to that song anymore. And like things become old really, really, really fast. And it was like, you know, like to try to remember like all the sounds of this time, like I went to the list of like, oh, the 2021's best songs. And I was like, a lot of these songs, I was like, damn, like I felt like this song was like 6 years ago and it was like 4 months ago. And it's just like shows how much these didn't have staying power, but the ones that stuck, like they stuck. But it's just like,
those are the ones I wrote down.
All right, so go ahead, give me what you got.
At number 5, I have "Leave the Door Open" by Silk Sonic.
I'm mad because I got Silk Sonic on here, and I thought I was gonna be doing something like you didn't see me coming with those Silk Sonic stuff. And it was like, and you came out.
Yo, listen, that joint stuck so much. My 7-year-old was walking around talking about he gonna leave the door open. I was like, for who? Who you leaving the door open for? What you leaving the door open for?
You can't pick up the phone at all. Be like, what you doing? Where you at? Right. Oh, you got plans.
Don't say that.
Shut your trap.
But yeah, that joint was like I said, you know, I like stuff that's refreshing and smooth, and that joint it really hit. You know? I
thought I was gonna be doing something too because I was like, you didn't think I was gonna pull an R&B track out the bag, but I did.
Nice try. So yeah, it's on you.
So I do have an honorable mention because I was gonna put Silk Sonic as my as my sneaky pick for number 1, but like The Nardo Wick song has got 21 Savage, Lil Durk, and G Herbo called Who Wants Smoke. You'll probably know it from like all the memes where it's like the is that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I think it's a
Big Sean freestyle to it on yeah.
Yes, he did.
Yeah.
But it's like
boom.
Yeah, it's like a lot of guys on here. Like, I don't listen to Nardo Wick. I don't listen to G Herbo like that. I don't listen to Lil Durk like that. And it's like all of them came on the song, and I was like, maybe I should give these guys more of a shot because like I really enjoyed this track. So that was my honorable mention. But my number 5 was Drake featuring Lil Baby Wants and Needs.
Okay.
And it's like it was one that didn't make the Certified Lover Boy album. I believe it was on Scary Hours too. And it's like that's all. I was like, what was the best Drake song from 2021? And I was like going back and forth in a lot of these, and it's like it wasn't a great Drake year. Like 2021 was not a great Drake year for like stuff like that. And yeah, I thought this was the best one, so I put that one at my number 5.
Okay.
So I'll move on to my number 4. My number
like we're gonna bump heads at some point.
We're going to. My number 4 was the Freddie Gibbs featuring Jadakiss Black and Illuminati track.
There it is. That's right at number 4 for me.
Look at that. So I mean, Freddie Gibbs and like I said, the Griselda Boys are kind of like they're on like this own run that they're doing. I thought Freddie Gibbs was gonna win Album of the Year last year. He didn't. He actually lost to Nas. So like, I mean, there's no shame in losing to Nas. You know what I mean? Stuff like that. And I was wondering how he was going to come back. And then it's like he comes back on this track with Jadakiss, fresh off of them utterly destroying the Dipset. And it's like Kiss doesn't miss a beat. And it's just like, I just thought it was
Freddie
phenomenal.
Killed it too.
Oh, he did. Absolutely.
Killed it too.
But he knew to put Jadakiss as the last verse.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you don't go after Jadakiss because he's on the scorch earth.
He goes again after Jada.
He does, but it's a short verse. He doesn't go his full 16. He saved his full 16 for the first verse. Yeah. And then Jadakiss kind of scorched earth, and he was like, yeah, to wrap this track up.
All right, so yeah, I knew he was gonna bump heads somewhere. So that was a good one. That was a good one. All right, so at 3, I got Family Ties. It's not because it was any better than the Freddie Gibbs song. It was really good to hear Kendrick.
So like it's weird. I have weird feelings about the song.
Yeah, I know what you're gonna say because Keem was trash.
Keem is very trash on the song. Like he's really bad to listen to.
Yes.
On there.
How many songs have you listened to where somebody saved it?
I mean, there's a lot of songs like that.
Exactly.
What I'm saying is like to be song of the year, and it's like
no,
but it's
a song I listen to a lot.
But what I'm saying it's Grammy nominated.
Oh, I didn't know
when I saw that it was Grammy nominated, I was like, why is this song on here? And I was like, oh yeah, because Kendrick Lamar scorched earth on his verse, and it's like, and I was like, hey, Kendrick is so good. The fact that Kendrick is so good on it, and the song is still just kind of good, lets me know how bad Baby Keem was like on this song. And I feel like you can't have a song. Just not for your list, but just for like the Grammys. Yeah. It's like you can't have a song like that up there for song of the year.
Verse.
But Kendrick might have one of the 5 best verses with that verse of the year. Like that, smoking at top 5s tonight. I am the Omega. Like I said, it is very. I don't know what most DJs were playing for. Like, like when 2021, like the year drops, like what the song is, like usually it's the hottest song of the year. Like, I don't know what it was, but I feel like if I was a DJ, like I think I would start off with that verse, like just
just Kendrick to keep it moving.
Yeah. Well, I might start playing the song and then like fade it out a little bit, like 3, 2, Happy New Year. I am the Omega. So in that top 5, amazing brother. Might do all that.
Oh man! All right, so at 2 I got Sorry Not Sorry, Jay-Z and Nas.
The DJ Khaled one, right?
DJ Khaled one, yeah.
Nas is getting a lot of love on our show.
They dropped some gems in there, man. Jay was gonna make my list anyway. You know what I mean? But
I spent a large portion of time trying to find a song with a Jay-Z verse that I wanted, and it was like I didn't get it from the Drake album that I wanted. I didn't get it from the Kanye album that I wanted. So I really struggled to find a Jay-Z one. Yeah, I'm glad you got one.
That was it. Sorry Not Sorry.
Which is another smooth track. It's just like 2 legends just showing you how to skate on a song.
Real smooth. They in a casino wearing suits, bro. They don't get no smoother than that.
You did
where nobody else was there.
You skipped me for my number 3, by the way. I'm just throwing that out.
Did I really?
Yeah, you did, because we spent all that time talking about Baby Trash and Kendrick.
I went 3-2. All right, so go 3-2. My bad. I'm sorry.
All right. My number 3 is a tie. It's a
No,
tie.
no.
I did. It's a tie.
No. You're the man talking about make your choices, kill your kids.
Can I tell you what my number 3 is? And you tell me why?
I'm gonna make you make a choice. Tell me what the 2 are.
They're 2 Nas songs.
Okay.
Cases Inc. 2. It's Rare and Moments.
I'm going with Moments. Rare is hard. Rare is definitely hard.
Rare.
I love Moments.
That's why I was like, I can't.
No, you gotta pick one. You gotta pick one.
I'll go Moments for just the surprise Lauryn Hill verse, like coming out, stuff like that. And
no, Lauryn Hill's not on Moments. She's on.
You sure?
Yeah, I'm pretty. Is she on? What's that? Bible Story?
I might be tripping.
Yeah, you are tripping.
Or Memories. I'm thinking of. I did put Moments on here. It is Moments. I'm gonna go Moments over Rare as much as I want to put Rare on here.
Okay.
I think we are slipping up on what song is the one with Lauryn Hill, but that Lauryn Hill verse when I heard it, because like it was during the time where I was listening to it and I wasn't really paying attention to what the song titles were, who was on it, and I was like, why does this voice sound so? Is that? Now that is Lauryn Hill. But yeah, that's so my number 3, Nas, Rare. Number 2, Silk Sonic, Smoking Out the Window. And it's like, as much as I love Leave the Door Open, I think it's a really
Nobody was the one that she was featured on.
Okay. As much as I liked Leave the Door Open, and it was like, it almost like it was on the radio for like too long. Like it was like, I feel like that song was like one of the top 3 songs for like 4 months.
It's still one of the top songs. It's all over TikTok, Instagram. Dudes is acting like they mad at their girl, but they won't say.
But I think
this. I wasn't saying that.
No, you're talking about I was talking about Leave the Door Open is like one of the ones that was like, it was out for a little bit too long.
Oh, got you.
But I was like Smoking Out the Window, like on the other hand, like it feels a little bit newer. It's faster. And it's like, I think it does have like better lines in it. And it's like, I don't know. I just find that more enjoyable.
I'm choosing.
Paying the rent, paying for trips. Yo, I'll tell you that. Got that whole cribs running around my crib like it's Chuck E. Cheese. Oh, Lord.
Yeah, I'm still going to leave.
X-Men in the UFC, girl. I'll tell you, not to be dramatic, but I want to die.
This.
It's just like, I enjoy it way too much. It's like, my number 2.
I ain't mad at it. All right, so your number 1 versus my number 1. You want to say who the artist is first?
Mine is Cole.
Mine is also Cole.
Do you really? You got Cole as number 1?
Yeah.
Which did?
Heaven's EP.
It's not my number 1. I thought we were gonna have the same song.
Oh no, I knew we wasn't gonna have the same song.
Okay, you go ahead and talk about your track first, then.
Oh no, that joint is hard to me.
That's all you got.
It's literally nothing to say. If you haven't heard it, then you don't understand, and I'm not about to break it down for you. Like this man is like he's in his bag, coming off of an album. This man's like, just let me drop a quick little EP. This man's on the plane with his homies, talking about like how he cannot lead his joint alone. This is what he's meant to do. Like I'm supposed to be relaxing.
And he can't.
But I can't because my obsession leads me right back to this. Yeah, man. That joint is hard.
It was real hard for me to not put J. Cole's freestyle over to Still Tipping. And he's like, no, that freestyle is crazy.
Oh, yeah.
That was like the year when
that's when he said
when Black Thought dropped that 7-minute freestyle.
These homies don't play Nintendo, they play with extendos. That chopper gonna spin you around like a judge on The Voice. I was like, oh.
He's number 1, guys. J. Cole is number 1. Like, why are we doing this? Cold World. My song was My Life, the one featuring 21 Savage and Moray. And I think like what's unique about it is J. Cole's probably the worst thing on this song. And it's like, that's how good of a song this is, that like as flawless as J. Cole is, he could be the worst thing on this song and the song be up there. Like I think 21 Savage's verse is super fire. But to me, the thing that steals the show is the Moray chorus. That my life is all I had, my rhymes, my pen, my pad. Like he just goes off like, and like, where I come from so often, where you're going, I'm laying in the coffin. Like I'm telling you, that's it.
We still gotta get the Insomnia TV.
That's my number 1. That was my number 1. So that's it. For digging in the crate.
Did you throw it?
It's right here. It's called the camera trick. You know what I'm saying?
All right, so let's go on to Insomnia TV. I am not gonna lie to you. I did not put these in order. I couldn't. It was tough enough to get 10. We went 10 instead of 5. It was tough enough to get 10. I promise you, I have like 8 honorable mentions.
Bro, you had a lot. You did have a lot.
Like it was a struggle. It was a struggle.
So like when
I'm gonna get my honorable mentions out of the way right quick.
But like we were talking about like the music one, right? And like that one was tough. But I feel like your toughest one was the TV because you consume a ton of TV.
I'm a TV guy.
Like you saw my movie clipboard for a minute. I legit had 31 movies on there.
You look like you was breaking up with somebody. It hurt. It ain't
I was sweating.
It ain't you, it's me. All right, so let me get these honorable mentions out the way. All right. Master of None is definitely honorable mention.
Wait, hold on. So
these are ones that could have definitely made the list. They just missed the last spot, but I could not bring them up.
So like, all right, hold on.
No.
Hold on.
Just let me get through it.
Let me ask this. Can I ask something?
Okay.
So you didn't put them in order. You don't have a top 10.
No.
I do have a top 10, and I have an honorable mention.
I might be able to freestyle this order of 10, but it's not.
Are you sure? How about if I read my honorable mention, you tell me if they're on your list, if they're in your honorable mention, and then like I'll go through my 1 through 10, and then whatever I didn't say,
no, you can do it.
Why don't you want to do it that way?
I don't want to do it that way.
Why don't you want to do it that way?
Get my honorable mentions out the way. You get yours out the way, then we'll get to our 10. I'm not doing it that way.
Are you going to give a brief description on what these shows are for people who have not seen them and might want to?
I think that's going to take too long. I have so many honorable mentions.
Just like real quick, like what it's about and who's in it.
All right, so Master of None is so for those who don't know,
that's on my list. You can save that.
All right, I'll say that one. Lupin. He's a UK thief who steals a lot of art. He's got a little boy and he's get mixed up with the wrong people. Surprisingly, he wears a lot of ones, like another show that we like to watch. But it's a really good show.
I'm pretty sure it's based off of the anime Lupin the Third, but he's just like a different Lupin.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay. So. My next one is Yasuki. I'm pretty sure I'm saying that wrong, but it's about the black.
I think it's like Yasuke.
Yasuke. Yep, Black Samurais, also on Netflix as an animated series. Arcane, we've talked about Arcane on the
That made your honorable mentions.
Yes, chill out. You will see my 10 and you'll be like, okay, I know it was tough somewhere in there. I have a spot where it could possibly go, but I didn't know. I couldn't do it. All right.
Not to be dramatic, but I want to die.
Arcane is dope though. I have Snowpiercer following that.
Yeah.
I have Snowpiercer's about these people who live on a train because the world is like frozen over, and if the train stops moving, they all die. It's a pretty good show. C, we've talked about C before, where nobody can see, but there's a few.
That was like your show. That didn't make your list.
That's why it's on my honorable mention. I have a really tough list, bro. All right.
Okay.
Next I have Gomorrah, which is HBO Max, is based out of Italy, I believe.
Okay.
Drug game type stuff, but it's pretty crazy.
It has nothing to do with Gamora from Guardians of the Galaxy?
No. No. And then last but not least, Cobra Kai, which was really tough to cut that off the list too, because
I had just found out that the whole season was already out. I really got to get.
I just watched the whole season today.
So, but it is worth my time.
Yeah, definitely.
Because I really, really enjoy Cobra Kai.
I love the way Danielson keeps reintroducing old characters into the TV show.
Because Terry Silver's in the season.
Quicksilver is definitely in this season. He got the ponytail. That brother's tripping.
That's how he was in the old movie.
Man can't see, man can't fight. Man can't stand, man can't fight. All right, go ahead with your honorable mentions. My bad. I'm sorry.
Okay. So I only have 2 honorable mentions.
Oh, smooth.
Yeah, I had a big list, and I started just erasing shows, and I was like, the shows that I really, really fought over getting in my top 10, I was like, you guys can be my honorable mentions.
Okay.
My first one is an anime called Tokyo Revengers. It is on HBO Max. It is about this kid who has a near-death experience, and because of this, he's able to travel back to when he was 12 years old. And like the whole thing is like he's trying to stop this big gang from becoming a gang, because like in the future they wind up causing the death of his loved ones. So like his thought is like, if I can stop this gang from their when they're started, then I could stop everything. So like, but he just has different methods of going about it. Okay. But it was really, really dope. Can't wait for season 2. And my number 2, and the only reason is my number 2.
Here we go with the excuses. He's about to say something crazy.
The only reason it's an honorable mention is because I have not finished the season yet.
That's your fault.
I know. That's what I'm saying. Like, yo, I didn't finish it in time. That's the only reason.
What is it?
It is Wu-Tang season 2. It is Wu-Tang. Bro, you don't got Arcane on your list. I don't want to hear it.
Wu-Tang is real life.
Okay. Somebody say gaming is life. So like arcade is life. Yo, listen, man. It took me a long time to get to Wu-Tang season 2. I'm on episode I think 4 of season 2 of Wu-Tang right now. And it's like I'm really, really enjoying it. But like these shows are already completed and I loved them.
Okay.
So like that's the reason why they're all in my top 10.
I apologize for my outburst.
No, it's okay. Cause like I feel like we're gonna have a lot of beef going on in this right now. Especially since you don't got your joints numbered.
That's fine. That's fine. I think the way I put them on here, they kind of fell into place anyway. So we'll just see what it is.
So how do you want to do this? Do you want me to say like what my number 10 is? Tell me if it's on your list, stuff like that.
Yeah, we can do it like that. All right. So what you got at number 10?
My number 10 is WandaVision.
No.
It's a Disney Plus show. It's about Scarlet Witch creates a town that is kind of like in these sitcoms from her childhood, and it's like her dealing with the loss of pretty much the whole backfall from Endgame and stuff like that. I just thought it was super dope the way that it's. I mean, that face.
It was in my head. I was just thinking this witch.
Oh my. Yeah. I do, and like the reason why this was my number 10 and it wasn't higher or stuff like that is because I do think like the last episode wasn't that good. Like this show definitely has its flaws.
Yeah, they rushed it.
So like that's the reason why I couldn't put it a lot higher than a lot of the stuff on here.
Mm-hmm.
But the journey to there, like I really, really enjoyed it. And like I watched it a second time during the summer with my grandmother. And I feel like I noticed things differently the second time, which made me enjoy it even that much more.
Okay. All right.
So it's not on your list.
No. At number 10, I have The Shy.
Okay, I haven't watched The Shy since season 1. Do I have to get back into The Shy?
Yes.
All right.
Yes, for Papa's sake. He needs the support. All
It's
right?
always, why is everything about Papa?
But yeah, The Shy is just basically life and times of different people growing up in Chicago. One of them is like a young entrepreneur. Both him and his girlfriend. Another one are like a group of kids that are growing up in struggles. You got the really tough kid whose brother sells drugs, comes from the streets. The kid who comes from a family that supports him and stuff. He's the smart kid, but he's going through his own struggles. And you got Papa, who's like the kid who grows up in the church, but he's like, he actually has a podcast like us.
Does he?
Yeah, he starts a pod. You know what I mean? But through all that, it's like the life and times of living in Chicago. So I think the director, Lena White, does a really good job of depicting those stories and those lifestyles. And the show took a really big hit with the whole controversy with the sexual harassment.
Man, with your boy Easy.
Right. So in order for them to even be able to bounce back from that and still put out some good content in the show.
Did that happen during this season or season 2? Like all that stuff?
I think it was between season 1 and 2.
Okay.
Yeah. Or maybe season 2 and 3. But I know it was at the tail end of a season.
Is he in it in season 3?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, he's not in the last 2. So I think they're at 3 seasons. So maybe it was season 1 to season 2.
Okay.
All right. So from 10, I go to 9. And at 9, I got Wu-Tang. Because they ain't nothing to mess with. So they should have been.
Protect your neck.
All right. We talked about this last time when Whit was on the pod. You know what I mean? It's a really good show. It's a really good show. And I enjoyed it a lot. So that's why it's at my number 9.
I meant to ask the question before, but we were running pretty long the last episode of is like, who is your favorite, not Wu-Tang character, but the person being played in the show?
I did say it last.
You guys did say ODB, right?
I said ODB.
Because like mine is the Jizza.
Because that's
I feel like the Jizza is so perfectly played.
Yeah.
Like
I just feel like ODB is one of those characters that you cannot mess up. If you mess up that character, it could mess up the whole depiction of that character.
He could be a real cartoon.
You can mess up the entire show, and you can basically lose a lot of viewers.
I think that's the reason why they didn't give him a lot to do in season 1.
Mm-hmm.
Like they used him pretty sparingly because like they were like, all right, we don't want this dude to be this, but like he's definitely like in there a lot more in season 2, and like he's
all awesome. The little sprinkles of ODB that was in there was the at the right time in the right place and with right measure.
Ooh,
word. All right, so what you got at 9?
My number 9, my surprise number 9. Like I didn't think that this was gonna make my list, but it did. Was the Kevin Hart and Wesley Snipes on True Story.
I have True Story.
Is it? Oh, well, you don't got your things numbered. So I mean,
it's at 5.
Oh, so you did put numbers on them.
I put numbers because I wanted to make sure I had 10, but it wasn't like in a particular order. But yes, true stories on there.
I think that this show had the potential to be very corny and like not. And first of all, we all thought it was a movie. We all thought it was a movie when it was coming out, and then we found out it was a show, and it was like, oh, do I really want to watch 7 episodes of this? And then it was like, oh yeah, I really do. It's like you kind of want some more episodes. But serious Kevin Hart, I'm kind of with it.
I'm all for it.
I actually like serious Kevin Hart way more than I like funny Kevin Hart. Like, because I'm really tired of funny Kevin Hart.
Can't lie to you.
But no.
Are we past spoilers at this point? People should have seen this, right?
How spoiler are you gonna get?
Very spoilery.
Like the end of the whole show?
Yes.
I think you should keep it in your pocket.
There is a part in the movie where Kevin Hart is like seriously crying. Like he's just like, and me and my son look at each other and we just started rolling because it's still Kevin Hart. So it's like, I know this is super serious, but watching him cry was hilarious. And it was just like, we couldn't get past the comedy part for that one part.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. Where it was like, that might have been a little bit out your range, Kevin. Like, we felt that back a little bit.
Yeah, and it was almost like we looked at each other like, you're not supposed to laugh because this ain't a part to laugh at. But then we both started rolling like, yeah, it's still Kevin Hart, man.
But I think for all of that stuff in there, for it to be my number 9, your number 5, I think it just goes to show, like, you should watch it if you have not seen it yet. Like, go hit up Netflix, check out True Story, and I think the unsung hero of that whole special is Wesley Snipes. Like, I think Wesley Snipes.
Unsung that people were not paying attention.
I think Wesley Snipes was fantastic in the whole thing.
I mean, it's Wes.
That's what I did. I was like, yo, put him in some more stuff, man. Get my man Wesley back out there. If he's not in this new Blade movie, let me not.
Passing the torch or something.
My number 8, you had it in your honorable mentions, so I'm gonna put it out there. It is Masters of None, season 3.
Go at it. It's a good show.
First of all, Masters of None, the first 2 seasons with Aziz, one of my favorite shows that I had seen like in a long, long time. Like, he is an amazing writer. He knows how to write like relationships and like weird situations. Like, these are like there's this a point in this season where it's like when you invite a couple over and they argue like in your house, and it's like that is such a real situation that's like people don't write it correctly sometimes, and it's like they nail it. Like, they just nail these relationship things like so on point.
A lot of people don't know the title is the second half of a very popular saying, Jack of all trades, but master of none.
Right. Damn, that was a little nugget. Little raising that.
You know.
But for those
it is a longer caption too. So if you take the time to look that up, you'll be like, oh shoot, didn't know that, because there is more to it.
Okay. For those who don't know what the show is about at all, like I said before, it's an Aziz Ansari show. Due to like some weird circumstances with Aziz off the show, this season is not focused on him at all. It's actually focused on Lena Waithe's character, who actually writes The Shy. She's an amazing writer, and it like focuses. She's a character early in the seasons, and it first focuses on her same-sex relationship in this season. And like I said, like I find myself like this is one of the most amazing just dialogue shows, period. Like, the conversations that they have are just so real, and they're just so in there. And it's like also these things that like people who are not that articulate like watch this and be like, why don't I say things like that? Like, it would just make more sense or whatever. But it's just like about like how you think that you want something or you're ready for some relationship at one point in time, but like you're really just not that grown to be there yet. And it's like, having to come to terms with stuff like that. And I just thought it was fantastic. I was really worried when I found out like Aziz wasn't going to be in it, because like the show was on like a 3-year hiatus because of that. But he does appear a couple times. He does make a cameo, and he did write a ton of the show. And I thought it ended fantastically. Masters None.
No, it has his touch. All right, so
you gotta go, or you want me to keep going? My number 7.
No. I have to go 8 and then 7. And
okay, just double check it.
All right, so at 8, I got Money Heist.
Didn't watch it. I haven't watched the show at all. So
Bella Ciao, Bella Ciao, Bella Ciao, Ciao, Ciao. You better check into it. It's pretty dope. This one is
too much stuff to check in on.
Based in Spain, I believe, but it's literally the main character is called the Professor. And the professor gives a bunch of different names to a bunch of people that's involved in a number of different heists that they pull off. And within those heists, of course, there are situations that happen during the robbery, after the robbery, and every season is a different heist. But they're not just stealing just to be stealing. There's all types of political connections and how people get drawn in, and it was really good.
Is it the same heist crew every season?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
Because I love heist movies.
Mm-hmm.
So like,
it's really good. It's worth it.
Even with the dub over.
Yeah.
Do you watch it with the dub or do you watch the subtitles?
No, I watch subtitles. I like to hear the voice of the actual actors.
All right, so you do it in there. What's their original language? Is it Spanish?
Spanish.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's gonna be on my queue, but it's like, we got a lot of stuff. We got a lot of stuff coming out.
Yeah, definitely.
So
all right, for Money Heist, I jumped to number 7 with Mayor of Kingstown. It made the list.
Another one I didn't get to go to. I didn't get there.
It made the list. Like, you better get to it. It just finished
season 1, right?
Season 1.
HBO Max?
Yep. No, Paramount Plus.
Okay.
It's only 8 episodes. The joint's tough, man.
Are they hour-long episodes or half hour?
It's tough, man. 45, I want to say. It's tough, though. It goes by like you don't even know it. Mind you, it goes by so quick. You're like, that's the end of the episode? Dang.
Let me ask you this. Mm-hmm. Should I start this or should I finish Wu-Tang?
You should finish Wu-Tang and then start.
Just check it.
Yeah, because it's gonna be too much.
Because Wu-Tang is my hour show right now. So
I mean, it was easy for me because like the season, of course, is over now. Yeah. But it was only coming out week by week, and Wu-Tang was already out. So I was just cleaning off Wu-Tang while the Mayor of Kingstown episodes were coming out.
Okay.
And if I haven't explained it before, it's 3 brothers. One is the mayor. One works for the police. One is like from the hood, but they call him the Mayor of Kingstown, and he's the one that's making all these connections between like the gangsters and the prisons and the police officers and the political game. And there's a lot of dirty stuff happening.
Okay.
All right. So that's my number 7. Your number 7 is what?
It feels like forever ago. But my number 7 is Snowfall season 4.
Ooh, I got Snowfall at number 6. Franklin Saint.
So like. Snowfall was a show that I picked up during the pandemic.
You're welcome.
I don't think it was you that gave me the suggestion to watch it.
It was me.
I don't think that it was. I just had a lot of time on my hands. The tough thing is it is on Hulu, and I don't have the premium Hulu, so like that means all them commercials are in there, and it was a lot. But like, I
should have told me I got a spot you could have watched it at.
One of my favorite shows of all time is The Wire, and I think like we all love ourselves like a drug show. Stuff like that. Power thinks that it's Snowfall, but it's not. Snowfall, I think, is probably one of the 3 or 4 best drug TV shows like of all time. It is about
based on true events.
Yeah, it's based on true events of this young man, Franklin Saint, and him introducing crack cocaine to LA back in the 80s. And it's like, I think season 4. It's weird because it ended in a way where it's like you can see where the show's going now, where the next setup is, but it also set it up in a point where it's like if there's not another episode, it's like it's a pretty solid ending to the show.
Yes,
but
I felt like that about and it's not a 2021 show, not to digress, but Your Honor. I don't know if you ever watch Your Honor.
No.
If you ever get a chance to, you should watch it. It has Walter White in it, who's the guy who plays
Bryan Cranston.
Yes, Bryan Cranston. He plays a judge, which is why it's called Your Honor. And it's a pretty crazy movie.
It's a serious show?
Huh?
Your Honor is a serious show?
Yes.
Okay.
Very serious. It gets really real. But you write it down. Get to it when you can.
Okay. There's a lot. There's a lot in there to get to.
So what I'm going to let you do is I'm going to let you go 6 and 5, considering that I have Snowfall at 6 and True Story at 5.
Okay. My number 6, the recently finished Insecure season 5. I just want to let you know my 6 through 3 was like a battle to be like who was going to be over, and Insecure was initially my number 3, and then like you start to like kind of like pick apart the shows and the stuff like that are in there. For those who don't watch Insecure, it is about Issa Rae. It is like she's a young woman in Hollywood.
They know who Secure is. They know what Secure is.
But it's pretty much about like it's a relationship show, and it's not just a relationship of like her and her boyfriend. It's a relationship between her and her parents, and more importantly, like her and her best friends. And it's like how to have healthy relationships with people like in your life. And it's just like the crazy hijinks like that go on like in LA. I think this season 5 like really slowed it down a bit because it is the final season, and they knew ahead of time it was going to be the final season. So like they really wanted to like let these relationships breathe, and like them to have like, again, real conversations, talk about real situations, stuff like that. And like I just thought that they killed it. And it's like I know a lot of people didn't really like it in the beginning because like like they weren't getting what they wanted.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, no, like that's not how TV shows work. Like you don't necessarily get what you want. Like they have to give you the natural progression of a story of like what would these characters do and how does this work for them specifically. And it's about like their growth as people. And I just thought it was like very well written. I think it got brought up the night of the finale.
Mm-hmm.
Someone said that this has to be in the pantheon of the greatest Black TV shows of all time. And they were just like, listen, like Martin, Fresh Prince, Good Times, Jeffersons, Different World, Insecure, like it's got to be in there. And I was like, I think it might be on Mount Rushmore, like especially in the last
I have not seen the show.
Last what, 10, 15 years? Like what's the, like what do we have before that? Like Grownish, Blackish,
Blackish,
the Girlfriends
heading into their last season.
I don't watch it yet. I feel like I got to get up on it.
Yeah.
But it's on HBO Max if you haven't got a chance. It's an easy watch. All the episodes are half an hour. It's 5 seasons. Each season has 8 episodes, I believe. Do yourself a favor, watch Insecure. Fuck, it is. I was about to start swearing. It is a fantastic show. Fantastic show.
Okay.
My number 5, and like I said, like these shows were duking it out. It was the Disney Plus show, Loki.
Ooh, that's my number 4. Look, you making this easy for me.
That's what I'm saying. I feel it was good. The fact that we're having so many similar shows, like, is a good thing.
I like it.
Yeah, like I don't know if you didn't get a chance to speak on the last show. Like, do you want to give your thoughts on Loki real quick?
It's the best show on Disney Plus. Forget WandaVision, forget Hawkeye, forget
the Hawkeye time.
What if you didn't waste your time watching those shows and just watch Loki? All right.
But I feel like all the other stuff matters. Like everything flows into everything else.
Just tell me what happened in those shows so I know how it connects to Loki. Don't waste my time watching it. All right. But what I'm saying is that's for the Winter Soldier too. None of them are beating Loki. All right.
No, it's easily the best show.
It's easily the best show. Like the way, like it's just so many different things that keep your mind intrigued. And it's not just like, all right, I'm just waiting for the next episode to see what happens. Like it's like there's so many endless possibilities.
But why don't you tell them what Loki is about?
So we know Loki is Thor's brother. He's always been the bad guy. Loki gets arrested by the Time Protectors.
Time Variance Authority, the TVA.
There you go, the TVA, the Time Variance Authority. So they're basically saying that Loki has been messing with so many different time variances that they had to arrest him and put him in this place so that he could not mess up so many different timestamps. And within that time that Loki is there, he begins to learn about what time variances are and how he was actually affecting them. And if it's true that he has to be there and like what the big problem is. And through all that, Loki goes from being a bad person to being a good person and kind of, sort of. And then through all that, he gets to meet the best character in the world ever known to man in any of these Disney shows, which is
it Kang the Conqueror?
Yes, it is Kang the Conqueror, who was played by
Jonathan Majors,
which couldn't have been a better choice in any show ever.
From Lovecraft Country.
Lovecraft Country.
He is in one episode. He's in one episode
and embodied 10 episodes that anybody else has been in. I promise you, I literally rewinded his whole episode at least 4 times just to keep watching it. Like, yo, this brother, like he could easily, the way you say Kendrick saved Family Ties, this man you can literally have a trash show and he pop up on it and you be like, you know what? This show is good.
Technically, I know we're calling him Kang, but he is He Who Remains. He who is on the show. Like,
He Who Remains. So it was a really good show.
And the thing is, like, it's pretty important for the stuff that's coming in the Marvel universe. Mm-hmm. Like, you know, like, because this is like the next big thing from Thanos. So, like, if you guys aren't caught up, I was gonna say, you know, you gotta watch WandaVision. You gotta watch at bare minimum. Watch Loki. Like, watch Loki. It was really, really well done, and it's really, really, really well acted. Like Owen Wilson coming from nowhere, like off the bench, it was like, yo, I got you. Like he had my heart by the end of the show, man. Like that dude he's in there. Your girl Ravonna, like, yo, she's fire. Sylvie. steals the show for like quite a bit.
It's crazy.
And it's like Tom Hiddleston, like as Loki, is like he's flawless, man. He's flawless. So like that was my number 5, man.
Okay.
So like
my number 4. I only got 3 left.
So I got to keep going then, right?
You got to keep going.
My number 5, and I can't believe that it was not.
No, that was number 5.
That was number 5. My number 4, which I can't believe was in your honorable mentions, was Arcane.
Okay.
It was a show on Netflix, which you pumped Arcane.
I love the show.
You were like, yo, you gotta watch it. You gotta watch it. You gotta watch it.
For it to beat these shows.
And it was like, it's my number 4, and it was like it made your honorable mention. I was like, yo, I thought this was your jam.
Listen, I'm a TV buff, man. It's really hard. It's really hard.
Why don't you let the people know what Arcane is about? If you
No, go ahead. You got it. You got it. I want to make sure you paid attention.
All right. Arcane is a TV show. It's for the video game League of Legends. So it features like a lot of characters from there. It's pretty much about how there are 2 levels of people that live in the city. There are people that live below the city and people that live above. The people above are very technologically advanced, while people on the bottom, like they are more physically tough, stuff like that. It's like there's this brewing like uneasiness between the 2 sides because like they each blame each side for like a lot of stuff that's going on. We wind up having like discovering a new material and a new way to make money via, I believe it's like teleportation almost. It's like a transportation vehicle to like
some crazy solar power.
Yeah, to teleport like supplies. But someone makes a big mistake, which leads to like an all-out war between the 2 sides. And like this one particular family is kind of like on both sides of this fence. Amazingly animated. It is an animated show. Amazingly animated. You forget like by like the 3rd episode that you're even watching something that's animated. Like they just seem like that lifelike of people, but like the character development is like so through and so thorough in there that it's like it's almost like the video game where you start to have favorite characters from here or there, and then it's like it has the anime thing where it's like, oh, these 2 people are about to fight. Let's go. Like they have to have like 1 fight each episode.
I know I asked you this already, but those 2 characters they remind you of kind of like Joker or Harley Quinn.
Yeah. I guess okay. I can see it. I can see where you got there, but like I just say
because I remember when I asked you that before, you was like, no.
It's a little. Yeah.
All right. Okay. All right.
But really well done.
All right. So we at what 3, 2, 1.
I'm at my number 3 show.
All right. So it's on me now because you done ripped off like.
Yeah. Go ahead.
We even. All right. So I feel like these last 3 might be dead on.
So first of all, if we have all 3 of these shows on here and you have not seen them, that means you have to see them. If like we're both really
slacking.
Yeah, if you haven't seen these 3 shows, like these are your must-sees. If we're having like the same 3 jam-packed, go right ahead, sir.
All right, number 3, I got Squid Games.
Number 3 is my Squid Game. I got Squid Game. Yeah, I got Squid Game at number 3.
I'm pretty sure we all know what Squid Games are. People who are living in impoverished or made some really bad financial decisions, and they're in debt. They're very, very, very much in debt, and they have this opportunity to win loads of money. But because in order to win that money, they have to play like these old school childhood games, and the losers die. And they literally keep playing games until they're down to the last person who is the winner of the money. And I think they're geared up for a season 2.
Oh, most certainly. Like it is Netflix like most watched show, and it's like it's made them the most money like by far. Yes. And it was like
I work in a school and they were 5th graders telling me they watch Squid Games. I was like, why?
Why? It's called bad parenting. But like yeah, what you got like they couldn't sign up for that sequel fast enough. Like yeah, definitely. Yeah.
And I'm there for it. All right.
And it's like if you haven't had it spoiled for you, by the way, because like like it was the most talked about thing on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, like anywhere that you look, everyone was talking about it. It was definitely a phenomenon for like what 2 months, maybe. And so like that, like yeah, go watch Squid Game. I was trying to be that guy where I was like, everybody's watching that show, it can't be that good. And I finally watched it. I was like, all right, everybody was right about this one. I was like, they got one.
All right, at 2, I have Invincible.
At number 2, I have Invincible.
Oh, I already know we got the number 1.
Yeah, you already know.
I know it's at number 1. So Invincible is
I think it's crazy that we have them all. I thought we were gonna have the same 3 but they weren't going to be in the
Mind you,
same
I didn't
order.
put these in a certain order. I just kind of wrote them down, but these were the ones that popped in my head first, and I wrote them down.
No, locked in. If you have not seen these 3 shows.
Yes.
Number 2, Invincible. Go ahead. Let them know.
So Invincible is an animated series, but it's like it basically shows superheroes in a depiction of who they would be if they were really wild in life. But like it starts off with like kids who are waiting to get their superpowers. Like at some point you're supposed to get superpowers. One character has not gotten his yet, but his dad is like the superhero of the show. Like he's the one who shows up to save a bunch of people.
He's a Superman.
He's the Superman, right? And he has a collective of people that he works with, kind of like the Avengers or Justice League. And all of the younger kids in the neighborhood are starting to get their powers, and they're coming up as the next versions of superheroes. And then out of nowhere, all the OG superheroes get murdered. All right, spoiler alert. But the whole series is figuring out who murdered those other superheroes and how they got to that point. And then the young man who didn't get his powers, but then he eventually gets them, comes into his own as a superhero, and he's faced with challenges of being a teenager, but also building this relationship with his dad, who is this superhero dude, while also managing relationship with his superhero friends. And it gets crazy out of control. The show is definitely rated R. So just so that you know, it's not like
rated R for ridiculously
it's not something that you want to watch with your children, and it definitely gets crazy. Did I leave anything out?
Not really. I mean, this is another one too where like it took over. It was released weekly.
Mm-hmm.
They were doing like 2 episodes a week, I think it was at the time. It is Amazon Prime. Mm-hmm. And so like it was the talk of the town for like another 2 months, stuff like that. And it's like I think the show came out in like January or February. Mm-hmm. So the fact that like it lasted the entire year and it is still both of our number 2 shows gives the show a lot of credit.
Season 2 was supposed to come out, but it got moved. I don't know why, but they need to stop playing before they lose some viewership.
I think I said it before when we talked about this show too, is like I've actually read the comic for Invincible and I know where it's going. And like as crazy as this show ended up with the final 3 episodes, I'm letting you guys know, strap in. There is a lot more things that are coming down the pipipeline. And it's like, if you thought this stuff was fire, it's about to, like, they're about to burn the house down. So get ready. Get ready.
At number 1.
Number 1. Numero uno. Should we just, on the count of 3? 1, 2, 3. Ted Lasso, season 2. Let's get it, boy. Believe. Yeah. We got to put that up somewhere, like the believe, and just slap that joint.
That's what we do.
Ted Lasso season 2, man.
Listen, I'm not even gonna talk about it.
Nah, rip that joint off.
I'm not even gonna talk about it. I'm not even gonna talk about it because if I have to explain this show one more time over the extreme amount of explanations we've given over the last 13 episodes, then you're not paying attention. You are not paying attention. One of the best shows, if not the best show of 2021.
I think when season 2 ended, I made the proclamation. Mm-hmm. Ted Lasso has entered into my 10 favorite television shows of all time. Like that's how great this show is. Mm-hmm. You don't want to do it. I'll give the Spark Notes version. Ted Lasso is a collegiate football coach played by Jason Sudeikis. Mm-hmm. Winds up getting a job offer to coach in the English Premier Soccer League, and it's just Ted Lasso, who doesn't understand or know what soccer is, trying to coach these young men into young professionals. And it is a glorious watch. There's characters all over the place for you to fall in love with. It's the coach's dream. And then it's like, it's just there. Like you love characters, you hate characters, you hate that you love this character. And then it's like, you see people go certain ways and it's like, everybody is so fully fleshed out. Like, I feel like I know these people. I'd give my kidney for Roy Kent if he needed it, because like, that's how much I love that man. It's just like, it's such a glorious watch. And it's like, I'm looking at a lot of these TV shows and a lot of these have to do with like, just like, you know, like a lot of negative things happen. Like we're talking about like drugs in the community. We're talking about destroying the timeline. We're talking about murder. Like there's a lot of this stuff in here. And like, this is the most wholesome show that's come along in a long time. And it's like, it goes without being corny. And it's just so well written, so good. Ted Lasso, Apple TV. I know a lot of people don't got Apple TV. Find a way to watch it. Season 1, season 2 is where it's at. Season 2, let's go. Ted Lasso. Any more thoughts that you want to say on Ted Lasso before we keep it moving?
Watch it. If you don't, then you're terrible.
Then you're a terrible man. That's a weight.
All right, so on to popcorn poppy time. Popcorn poppy time. This brother was struggling with this one. You gotta erase your list on your belly. Then you're gonna be mad.
It's already up here. It's already
no, it ain't. I refuse to believe that.
It wasn't. It's definitely not.
I refuse to believe that.
That's the thing. Is like movies is definitely my bag, and it's like I see movies every weekend, and it's like even I couldn't watch every single movie that came out this year, and it was like my list had like my whiteboard, like it looks like this now, but it was completely filled. I had 33 movies up there for like my top 10 movies, and it was like I had to like take a lot of them things out. And I also want to say yet again, this is my favorite movies, not the best movies, even though they might coincide as that, because there are some things that are left off here.
And these are in no particular order, but I'm gonna try to freestyle.
Mine are in a very particular order. I'm gonna let you know that right now.
Oh my goodness.
I mean, are you ready?
Yeah, go ahead and start with your number 10.
I'm gonna go with my honorable mentions. I got 2 honorable mentions.
I have none, so go ahead and do your honorable mentions.
My first honorable mention was Ghostbusters Afterlife. If nobody had seen that one. I mean, it is the Ghostbusters reboot. This is what the Ghostbusters first one was in like 88 or 84, so it's like 30 years after that. It is like the story of like the new age Ghostbusters, and it's like that's the best that I could do without spoiling like a lot of stuff that's in there. It does have Paul Rudd in it. That's like the biggest star that's probably in this movie. Bokeem Woodbine. I don't know the young lady's name that's in it, but it is a fire watch. This is my other honorable mention, and it's like it was so hard to not put this movie at number 10. But I think it lacks is the extreme. First of all, box office success of my number 10 movie, but it just lacks the notoriety for the most part. But if you haven't watched this movie, and if you are a fan of this person, Jason Statham had a movie called Wrath of Man that came out earlier this year. Ooh. And it is about his son gets murdered due to these men who do an armed robbery heist. And I
feel like I didn't watch it because it seems like every other Jason Statham.
I said the same thing. I was like, oh, it's going to be one of those things we're going to go see it on a matinee. Nah, bump that. This movie is fire. So like Jason Statham winds up joining an armored truck security thing. And his whole thing is like he's trying to see if he could figure out who that crew that took his son out was. And like, yo, man is heartless. I feel like everything that you like about Jason Statham movies, this one does it the best. Like this one is fire. Okay. Do yourself Wrath of Man.
Okay.
I also want to say from Wrath of Man on, all of these movies are full pricers if you're wondering about my rankings. Okay. So stuff like that. All right. So you want to go with your number 10?
All right. My number 10 is Tomorrow War.
Tomorrow War, honorable mention. I wanted to put it on here. I fought with that forever.
Ooh, yeah, Tomorrow War. So that has
Chris Pratt.
Chris Pratt, and it's basically like they are all going to die in the present or very near future based to like an alien invasion, and their only hope to try to beat what they have to fight in the future is by going to the past. Yep. Am I saying this right?
Yep.
So they're going in the past to learn some of the weaknesses and how the invasion started so they can hopefully pass that information into the present so that they can have a more functional fight to where they can survive. And the back and forth of time travel and fighting is pretty dope.
No, it was a lot better than I thought it was, because when it came out and everybody was really, really hyping it up, and I was like, there's no way like this movie's that good. I was wrong. The movie's fire. Is Amazon Prime? Because that was the thing too. Because that was the thing too. Is it didn't go to theaters.
I want to say Paramount Plus.
Nah, it definitely wasn't Paramount Plus. It was either Netflix. It was either Netflix or Amazon, and I think it was Amazon Prime.
Maybe it was Amazon Prime.
Yeah. So like,
I'll find out for you. You go to your 10.
As you're whatchamacallit, as you're on. You're doing like the same way you watch the movie on your phone. Nah, but like it was a lot better than I thought it was. It was one of those 30 movies that I had to try and chop down, stuff like that. My number 10 movie, and I know it's gonna drive Raisin crazy, is Fast and Furious 9.
It's on Prime Video.
F9, baby.
F9 for real.
Let's
F9
go. Vin Diesel, Ludacris, Tyrese, Michelle Rodriguez
in space.
Let's go in space. Why are you spoiling stuff? Not saying, but it's like, my thing is like, I go to this movie for a specific reason, and this movie understands what it is, and it just goes there. And it's just like they're not afraid to do crazy stuff because it's like a lot of people.
Dog knows it's a dog and it's impressive.
What? What? That's
what you just said.
This dog knows it's a dog and it's impressive?
Yes. He was like, I went to this movie knows what it's supposed to be, and it's just that. The movie was what?
No, it would be like if LeBron James tried to come out and be a quarterback, and be like, why are you being a quarterback when you know you're supposed to be a basketball player? And he was like, yeah, you're right. And then he goes to be the greatest player of all time. It's like, so yeah, go that route. You know what you are. You don't take yourself super serious. You don't do all this other stuff. Like, you give us amazing stunts, amazing visuals and stuff like that. And it's just like, I think it's a very good time. It's a popcorn flick. You don't have to take these things too seriously. I thoroughly enjoyed F9. I saw it twice in the theaters. Like, let's get it. Like, that's my thing is like, Fast and Furious, I think, is one of the greatest franchises ever. And it's like, I don't think it gets enough credit. It's like up there with the Harry Potters and stuff like that. Like, let's go.
Okay. Your number 9?
My number 9 is another surprise pick. It was the movie Nobody. Some movie stars Bob Odenkirk, who you guys might know for Better Call Saul. Or he plays Saul Goodman in Breaking Bad as well.
Yep.
But like, he is almost like, it's really like kind of like the reverse John Wick, where it's like he's almost like a reverse hitman, or he used to be. He's a retired hitman. He has a family, he has all this stuff, but it's like he's a nobody. It's like, you know, like his home life sucks, his work life sucks, but something happens which brings him back into that life, and it's like it was a great thrill ride the entire way through. It was like I saw that one in the theaters as well, and like the whole time I was like, I am really enjoying this movie. Like, it was just a dope movie. Go see Nobody. I don't know what it's on now, but like that joint was super fire. Did you ever see it?
Yes.
Did you enjoy it?
I did.
Is it on your list?
Nope.
Oh. Was it in the honorable mentions at any point in time?
No, but it wasn't by any slight or anything. I just completely have forgotten about that one.
Because he's a nobody. He blends in perfectly.
Big facts.
That was like when I was writing it down, I was like, Nobody? And I was like, yeah. I was like, Nobody was awesome. Yeah. Number 9.
At number 9, I have Outside the Wire.
What's that one? I didn't even see that one.
So that has who's the guy who played the Falcon?
Anthony Mackie.
Is that his name? You know what I'm talking about?
Anthony Mackie,
okay.
black Falcon, yep. Captain America now.
Yes. And then it has Franklin Saint in it.
Okay, I don't know his real name.
I don't know either. Do you know he's I think he's from like the UK or something.
Yeah, he definitely is.
Yeah, so those two
so is Jerome. And he sounds crazy with his accent.
Yeah.
Crazy.
So the two of them are in a movie together. They're both soldiers. The Falcon is like has like some AI, artificial intelligence in his body, which causes him to be like more of a super soldier.
Okay.
So like they're fighting like against like advanced technology and people who are stealing weaponry from advanced technology. So when you go out there, it's not like fighting in a real war. Like you have to really be careful out there, or you can be dead in a matter of minutes. So like Franklin Saint is like his chaperone while they're trying to obtain this information to try to even the playing field. And throughout that, he learns a lot and pays attention to a lot. And there's some underlining facts. So, you know, whenever it comes to government, there's some stuff that you don't know about. But it was a really good movie, and I like the way it rolled out and the way they worked together on the screen.
What's it called again?
Outside the Wire.
Was that in the theaters or was it on something?
No, it was on something. I want to say
the Netflix movie.
Netflix. I will find out. For
Outside the Wire.
Outside the Wire.
And that made your number 9.
That made my number 9. It was on Netflix.
Okay. Do you want to give your number 8, or do you want me to go for my number 8?
No, I'll go number 8. At number 8, I have No Sudden Move.
I didn't see this one either. What are these movies you're watching?
What?
I watched like 6. I think I counted. It was like I watched like 60 movies this year. And you tell me of all the movies that I watched, you got 2 movies in your top 10 that I never saw.
Yes. So
what's this movie?
No Sudden Move. It's an old school, like it's I want to say like based in the 50s, the 40s. It has Don Cheadle in it.
Okay.
Brendan Fraser's in it.
Okay. So wild cast.
Benicio del Toro is in it. Matt Damon is in it. Ray Liotta is in it.
What is this movie?
John Hamm is in it. David Harbour is in it. Julia Fox is in it. It's a really good movie. So,
what is it on?
Oh shoot, that's what I was supposed to be looking at.
What the hell is this movie?
Yeah, I'm telling you, HBO Max. So
no sudden moves.
Yes. So basically,
I'm gonna write this down off my thing.
Don Cheadle and a few other people got hired. Don Cheadle. All I keep thinking about is when he told Kevin Hart how old he was. Kevin Hart. Like, I didn't mean it like that. But Don and a few other people got hired to do a job.
Okay.
Turns out the job was a setup. They were being used as a decoy for somebody else to get off of something. They found out that they were being set up. So the guys who usually don't work together or don't like each other end up working together to find out about this setup. And throughout the entire movie, the people who have been set up are setting each other up for the big setup, for the big payoff. And it is extremely crazy the way everybody goes through it and who gets off and who doesn't and who eventually ends up with the bag. It's like, it's a really good movie.
And this is HBO Max.
Yes. No sudden move.
No sudden move.
No sudden move.
And that was your number 8?
Number 8.
My number 8 was King Richard.
Oh, I got him at number 6.
What's called King Richard is kind of like the story of the Venus and Serena Williams.
Yep.
And like more importantly, like their father's impact and role in getting them to become the tennis superstars that they are.
No, my brother, I got the next 2 Michael Jordans.
Wonderfully acted by Will Smith throughout the whole movie.
The young ladies did great as well too.
No, but like, yeah,
fantastic.
I thought the mother was the best actress. She stole the show to me. Stuff like that.
Well, she was in Lovecraft Country.
She was Hippolyta.
Okay, I thought so. I thought so. She's nice with it.
Oh yeah, she bodied it, and it's just like it was just a great movie, and like it, like I meant to say this like after we saw it, like apparently there was a lot of controversy, like people were really upset that this movie even got made, like they're just like, oh, we're gonna talk about this dude's dad, and I was like, why do you care? Like just don't watch the movie. And it's like, you know, yeah, and it was released on HBO Max at the same time, so it's on HBO Max now. If you want to watch it as well. But I thought it was a fantastic movie. Like I loved, like the whole time, like we watched it together, and like I just kept looking over. I was like, killing it. It was like, you know, and then adding like recreating like real life events that we know are real life events, stuff like that. Like it just they killed it, man. So like that was my number 8 was King Richard.
Okay.
And he said it was what for you? Number
6.
Okay. Well, my number 7 movie was The Suicide Squad.
Didn't make the list.
Did you watch it? The newest one.
Yeah.
So like, you know, this is, you know, kind of like a reboot or a refresh. I think it's supposed to be a sequel. But anyways, it is, you know, the Suicide Squad, the DC universe, a bunch of villains. Amanda Waller, played by Viola Davis, recruits a number of superheroes or supervillains, I should say, such as Harley Quinn, played by Margot Robbie, the Peacemaker, played by John Cena. Oh my God, what is the Deadshot? Is that no, not Deadshot. What's his name? For what you got, Idris Elba's character. Idris Elba is like the main character in the movie, and it's like he's super dope in it. They also have Man Shark in it, or King Shark. I'm sorry. I thought it's directed by James Gunn. It's certainly leaps and bounds better than the original Suicide Squad that they tried to do with Will Smith. I just thought the movie was I thought it was extremely funny. I thought the action was pretty dope. And I thought it was very original and it was creative. The fact that like I got to see Starro the Destroyer in the movie, like granted, like he's a little bit different than he is in the comics, but I was like, the fact that I got to see him in live action and it wasn't like a joke, I thought it was super dope. I loved it.
Okay. Is it my turn?
I believe so. You're number 7.
Number 7. All right, number 7, I got Concrete Cowboy.
Another movie I did not watch, but I know what this one is.
Concrete Cowboy has Idris Elba in it.
Yep.
And I believe, isn't it the dude who plays RZA? No, I think it's a different character. No. It's going to kill me.
I don't know his name anyways, if it is the kid that plays RZA.
Yeah, but it's Concrete Cowboy is based out of, I want to say Baltimore, Maryland, but it's literally like a community of Black folks who like still do cowboy stuff. They breed and raise their own horses. They have this small community like right outside of the city where they race horses and they take care of the horses. And people are complaining and the city is trying to cite them to get rid of the horses and saying they're not taking care of them. And they're trying to tell them like this is a part of their community. And it's basically like this fight back and forth of like how are they going to maintain keeping these horses. and fight against the forces that are trying to take the horses away.
I didn't realize how important and vital these horses were to this movie.
Oh yeah.
Like I thought it was just this thing is like, oh, we're just gonna be cowboys like in Baltimore or something like that. But, like I didn't realize the horses were really the main selling point of this movie.
Oh yeah.
It's a Netflix movie, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yes,
So like if anybody wants to still watch it, Concrete Cowboy.
Definitely Concrete Cowboy.
All right.
All right, because you know they on the concrete, they still cowboys, they hood, they street. It's pretty dope.
All right. So that's your number 7.
That's my number 7.
Go for your number 6.
And number 6, I got Fatherhood by Kevin Hart.
The movie I didn't. This dude's got a list of movies that I did not watch.
Listen, man,
Like-
you're supposed to be the movie guy, man. You better get up on it, man.
Do we want to talk about all the movies that I seen that you did not watch?
No.
I was gonna say, do we want to go that route?
Nah, because you the only guy I know can get a large popcorn for $3 at the movie. So you got
Platinum member.
VIP status.
They sent an email like, "Hey, we're gonna start a new platinum thing," and then like the next day, we're like, "Congratulations on being a platinum member," because they got my member.
Went to the movies with this dude. This man literally ordered the same thing a family next to us ordered. Their joint was like $37.50. The guy looked at him was like $10.30. I was like, let's get about it.
Come on,
But
man.
yes, I got Fatherhood coming in hot. This was another one of those movies where Kevin Hart played a serious role, but he's basically a single father. His wife, I believe she passed away. So like he's raising his daughter on his own, and he doesn't know how he's going to do this without his wife because she was everything to him, and they were supposed to be doing this together. So he's learning how to like maintain his sanity of losing the person that meant to him the most while also trying to take care of the person who now means the most to him. And he's just trying to be a good father, and he's learning that as he goes.
Damn.
Yeah, it's pretty tough.
That was a great description of that movie.
It's pretty tough.
That was your number 6?
That was number 6, yes.
Yeah, damn. And then that's also on Netflix, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Netflix is coming out crazy with movies this year, apparently.
They are.
Especially for you, because that's where you watch all your movies.
That's where I'm at with it. That's where I'm at with it.
My number 6 movie was The Eternals.
I got Eternals. That was my next one.
That's your number. That was your next one too.
Yep.
So I mean, we can spend some time talking about Eternals. I was about to say it's the newest, but it's not. But it was another one of the MCU movies that came out this year. It is about the Eternals and kind of like how they've safeguarded Earth for a number of years, but then they've come to the realization of their real purpose on this planet was kind of cultivate intelligent life, and that because of that, the world is going to be exterminated by the incoming celestial that is inside the planet, and they kind of like make the decision to. They're like, oh, we're going to fight and make sure that this celestial never comes so we can save the people of Earth. It has a lot of people, such as our boy Paperboy. You know what I mean? I thought he was a star favorite. Kamal Nanjiani. I thought he was also great in there. You got a boy Rob Stark. You got Jon Snow, Angelina Jolie. Like I thought it was a great movie. Like it's apparently really divisive.
You know what I learned from the Eternals?
What?
Thanos was right and he was a good guy.
Why is he a good guy? Why was he a good guy and he was right?
I don't want to say that without ruining the movie.
All right.
We'll talk off script.
All right. But yeah, like I really enjoyed it. Like I saw it, I did see it twice in the theater, and I thought that it was going to be a little bit more bogged down, but I was like, nope. I was like, I think I liked it even more the second time around, is because now I already know who these characters are, and I like
out on
Disney Plus now.
Disney
It is
Plus.
now on Disney Plus.
Okay.
But like I thought, like watching it again, I was like, oh, it's going to be a little bit boring. It's like, no, now I already like these characters, because like before that's the whole thing, is like you're going through this journey and you have to learn to like these characters to then care about them in the end. It's like, no, now I like them from the beginning, and it's like now I get to see them do dope stuff, and I enjoy it, and I enjoy it more this time around. So like, yeah, do yourself a favor, go check out The Eternals. It's on Disney Plus now.
All right.
So that was your number 6, your number 5.
That was my yes. Wait.
That was my number 6. So what was it for you?
4? I only have 3 left. Yes, number 4.
Oh, so I got to do my 5 then. My number 5, which was the number 1 movie for me for like a long period of time until these other movies came and took it out, was Judas and the Black Messiah.
Ooh, I got that one. It's at my number 2 though.
Okay. It is the movie about Fred Hampton and the Black Panther Party, and it's just like, you know, about his assassination and like how all that takes. What was that for?
It's a gem. It's a good gem. I like the way you sprinkled that in there.
And the Black Panther Party and his assassination and like how it took place. And it's like, you know, it's the other side of the lens, because I think like in history, they do paint Fred Hampton as quite like a radical and stuff like that. And it's like, I think that that's more of like the government propaganda because of the things that he was trying to do and the things he was trying to expose about the American government. Fred Hampton is played by Daniel Kaluuya.
Great.
Who you guys might know from Get Out. He was a star in Get Out, stuff like that. Lakeith Stanfield plays the Judas part, you know what I mean? So,
great pick.
And he was whatchamacallit. He's another great person. He
was also in Get Out.
He was also in Get Out. Like they all got together.
ATL.
Didn't see ATL. I don't
plan on watching the TV show.
Oh, my fault. The show is called Atlanta, not ATL. There's a difference.
I get it.
All right, relax. But yeah, I thought it was an excellent movie, like all the way through. My boy is a history teacher, and he like refused to watch it because he doesn't think it's going to be historically accurate. And I was like, "Yo, bro, just watch the movie. It could still be a good movie." Like I was like, I know very little of Fred Hampton and stuff like that. And it's like from the stuff that I know, they kind of got all of that right in this movie.
It's a really good movie.
Yeah, and
these movies are always painful to watch because you know what the ending is.
You know what the ending is, and it's nothing but just black pain throughout like the entire movie, and it's just like it's tough to watch.
So many movies. You watch One Night in Miami. You watch Ali. Like you know what's going to happen to certain characters. I'm watching Godfather in Harlem, and I was like seeing Malcolm X and Godfather in Harlem. You're like, man, I know what is coming, and it's just like it makes it so painful.
Dude, watching Malcolm X or watching Selma, like all these movies, it's like, oh, like I'm glad that this person's getting a movie and stuff like that. But it's like, damn, I gotta watch black men die all the time.
Right.
Stuff like that. But Judas and the Black Messiah, like do yourself a favor, go watch that movie. I don't know what it's on. I'm pretty sure it's HBO Max that it's on. And watch it on there. But that's the thing too, is like Daniel Kaluuya is so electric as Fred Hampton, like in this movie. Like it's hard to take your eyes off of stuff like that. It's on Hulu?
Yep.
Judas and the Black Messiah, it's on Hulu. Do yourself a favor. Go check that joint out. That is my number 5. You want to move to your number 5?
Can't be 5. I only got 2 left.
That's because I keep having the same ones. What's your number 6?
That was at King Richard for number 6.
That's the thing, is because I had it before, so we kind of brushed over it.
All right, so
what was your 5?
So you got to go 4 and 3.
You sure? What's your 5?
Eternals.
Okay. And what's your 4?
Concrete Cowboy.
All right, so here's my 4. Was the newest James Bond movie, No Time to Die. And I know you are very sour on the James Bond franchise.
I'm not sour on it. I gotta get reintroduced to it.
Yeah, so go watch Casino Royale. I'm pretty sure you'll thoroughly enjoy it.
All right. I'll put it on my list.
I'm pretty sure now No Time to Die is also on HBO Max because that's where like all the James Bond movies are. But this is Daniel Craig's last foray into the James Bond franchise. And it is him versus Rami Malek, who you guys might know from Mr. Robot, the TV show. He plays, I can't remember what his name is in the movie. But this is pretty much like James Bond tried to start a family that got taken away from him. So he's thrust back into the role of 007. And then because of that, he's on this mission to stop this nanobite-like disease, or it's like this kind of like doomsday device where they use nanobites to target people from their DNA and kill them from the inside out. So he has to stop Mr. Robot from spreading that along the world. And I thought it was an awesome action thriller, like all the way through. I think Daniel Craig is my favorite James Bond. I'll put it as that instead of the best. He's my favorite James Bond. Obviously, to me, he's made like 3 of the best James Bond movies, but I thought this one was really solid. And that was my number 4 pick.
Okay, what you got at number 3?
My number 3 is Shang-Chi, another MCU movie that came out.
I'll honorable mention that one.
Yeah. So Shang-Chi is about this Asian American superhero in the MCU. His father is in possession of the 10 rings, and he is the villain known as the Mandarin. His mother is from a mystical city that once she leaves, like it's hard to find this place again, but the father winds up finding where she's from, and he believes that if he returns there, he could get his wife back. And it is about Shang-Chi's journey of, you know, self-discovery and finding out like what he's truly good at, because like he's kind of like a bit of a slacker and stuff like that, but like he feels like by stopping his father, it's like that's the best way to help him. And it's like it's the best kung fu flick in the MCU. Like, it's got the best fight choreography. I can't wait to see what Shang-Chi is going to do in the future MCU projects. Like, I thought it was just awesome all the way through. It's fast, it's fun, and it has a bunch of like pretty engaging characters in it.
I agree.
Anything you want to say about Shang-Chi?
I agree. It's definitely a worthy watch.
Okay, that was my number 3. What you got in your number 3?
My number 3, I have Spider-Man: No Way Home.
Spoiler alert, it's on my list too.
That man said, "You don't have that web comes right out of here." But no, it was really good. Of course, this is like coming off of Spider-Man: Far From Home with the whole Mysterio battle, and now everybody knows who Peter Parker is as Spider-Man, and he wants them to not know that, so he asks Dr. Strange to cast a spell, and in the casting of that spell, it mixes a whole bunch of time lapses and frames, and now Spider-Man has a bigger problem than what he had to begin with, and he spends the whole movie trying to fix those problems with his friends and some added character, so I won't ruin anything. And Doctor Strange as well. It was a lot better than what I thought it was going to be.
Okay. That was your number 3?
Yes.
I'm anxious to see what your top 2 is.
Well, Judas and the Black Messiah was number 2.
Okay, all right. So, like, I guess I'll move on to my number 2.
Mm-hmm.
Is The Harder They Fall. So, like, I know.
That's my number 1.
I figured this was gonna be no one. So, because of that, like, I'm gonna take this time to talk about Spider-Man, which was my number 1.
Okay.
Spider-Man: Far From Home, or No Way Home was my number 1 pick. It was my favorite movie of the year. It's the biggest movie of the year. It's made the most money and stuff like that. But like, I think the emotional roller coaster that the movie took me on, like, people say, like, I laughed, I cried while laughing, I laughed while crying. Like, I really was there for all of it. And it's like, you know, there was a lot placed on this movie. First of all, there's a ton of spoilers that were in there that kept coming out, so it's working against that. Like, a lot of that stuff is coming out. Then it's like it has all this added multiverse stuff that it has to deal with, and that's on top of it. And then it's like they have to pay homage to like all this other stuff or whatever. And then like one of the big things, and it's like, I don't think this is a spoiler because it's all in the trailer, is the all of the villains come over. So it's like, not only is he trying to make his own movie, he's also rectifying like these other movies that didn't really make a lot of sense or a lot of people didn't like, and is making those characters better. So he's made better versions of other things that came before. This is probably one of the best versions of Doctor Strange that we got, like, as well. This is one of the best versions of Spider-Man. Like, I just thought this movie was a home run hit all the way through. I thought it knocked it out of the park. And this, I don't know if this is a spoiler at all either, but then it's like, we get the next time that we see Spider-Man, he's going to be in the comic accurate classic blue and orange costume. And it's like, I cannot wait to see it. And just the glimpse that we got of it at the end, I was like, I can't tell you how many times I was like, I'm gonna swear, let's fucking go. Like, let's fucking go. Like, I can't tell you like how many times in that movie.
Say twice.
Like, I was gonna say, anytime, like, you know, I'll be watching and then like he'd say something, I'd be like, let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Like, you know how like people do that meme where they have a debit card, they're like, yep. More of that. So I'm signed up. I absolutely adored Spider-Man: Far From Home. So like, now I'm gonna let you talk about Harder They Fall before I hop into Harder They Fall, because like, it is your number 1, it is my number 2. So clearly these are 2 of the 3 best movies that came out this year. Go ahead.
For me, it's the best movie of the year. All right. I know they didn't properly depict all the characters in the movie because all their storylines did not connect. And the way their demise came about was not.
You're talking about The Harder They Fall?
Yeah, because these are real characters.
Right.
But of course, this is not the way their story was entailed, but it still gives you the opportunity to learn who these characters were and their real life actions and some of the things that they did do and what they were about. But just the way they made the connections and how everybody had their moments to be a star as Black cowboys on the TV screen. There was no like overlapping of characters where you were like, this person's taking up all of this or this person's taking up all of that. When everybody had their moment, it was their moment, and every moment was interesting, every moment was entertaining. And I might mess around and watch it again tonight.
I wish this movie was in a theater. That's all I wanted to say. It's like, I absolutely enjoyed this movie. Like, when you told me how good it was and that you had already watched it twice. I was like, all right, I'm not gonna go to bed without watching this movie. And I was like, I'm glad I didn't go to bed without watching this movie. I was like, this joint is fire. Amazing performances by Idris Elba, Regina King, Zazie Beetz, Lakeith Stanfield, Dion Cole. Who am I missing? Am I missing anybody? Jonathan Majors. Who's the main character.
You said Idris Elba?
Yep.
You say Regina King?
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Come on, man.
They all in there. And a lot of people don't know like some of the Easter eggs that are in the movie, like they're paying homage to some of the people. So like in the beginning of the movie when they're hijacking the train, it says C. Boseman. Shout out to Chadwick Boseman. It says that right along the side of the train. There's I believe a grocery store that's in the main town where they have the fight called Carter's and Carter's, which is a tribute to Jay and Beyonce. Which is kind of funny because the director was like, hey, if you had a store, what would you call it? It was like Carter's or this. He was like, nah, how about Carter's and Carter, or Carter and Carter for like him and B. And it was pretty dope. So there's several other stores that are named after people and situations on which it just shows that they weren't just trying to put a movie together. They were trying to make you think. They were trying to make sure that it was enriched with culture while still being entertaining. And the way the movie ended, there's probably going to be a sequel, which is super, super exciting.
And I'll be there.
Definitely.
Put this one in the theaters. And I was like, my ticket will.
Word.
More of that.
I'm gonna go with him so I can get that family-sized popcorn for $4.
More of that.
But yeah, with that being said, I think that's everything.
That's it, man. That's our list. That was a lot of stuff we had to go through.
That was a lot. I'm sorry for keeping y'all so long, but we wanted to make sure we wrapped up the season real good. All right.
Yeah,
so
we did chop off the hardcore check-in and the blitz because we were just like, this is going to be a lot of content. And I was like, we didn't know how to put it in there anyways.
And we mistakenly hit y'all with almost 2 hours when we had our first guest.
That's what I'm saying.
Apologize.
So we was like, we just trying to keep this as tight as possible.
Yeah, man. Deal with us in chunks. But I did want to, I know we're not going to do a raisinette or a nasty nugget.
Why not?
I am going to ask you.
You don't got a raisinette?
I'm going to add them together. Are you with me?
Okay. Go ahead. If
there's anything that you definitely know that you needed to leave in 21 that you're not bringing to 22, what is it?
Wow. I kind of wish that you would have like gave me like a little bit of time to prepare for that because that's a heavy question.
Nope, do it now. Leave it there now.
Leave it in to 2021. I would say indecisiveness. It was just like, like I feel like now it's like instead of like, really like harrowing over more in one decision and it's like letting those like the nervousness of trying to make a decision, like rule your thoughts for a couple of days. It's just like, no, like take the time, make the decision. And once the decision is made, it's just roll with it and just go with it from there. Whatever the consequences, deal with the consequence. Make sure you have all angles covered. Like that's where I'm at with it.
That's what's up.
Just leave indecisiveness to 2021.
That's what's up. For me, I got 2, but it's kind of a mixture.
Okay.
One is definitely procrastination. I definitely don't want to bring that with me into 22. I think I've been coming to the end of certain things and goals that I wanted to meet. And after so much tireless working, like you see the end is so close, you kind of get a little lax. And I think within those situations, I won't say ruined a couple situations, but I've made them more difficult than what they had to be. Lastly, I would say I'm not casting my pearls to the swines. Yeah, no, that sounds like a crazy bar.
What?
At some point, I have given time to people who I know do not value my time.
Oh.
And I'm just so used to wanting to help people and see people progress or see people be their greatest selves. Sometimes I'm missing the fact that people just really don't want to be anything. Yeah. And maybe not in life, but at that current moment, they are struggling so much that they're really not hearing what you're trying to tell them. And they're asking for help out of formality, but not because they're really trying to listen. And I can't keep continuing to give my time to people who do not want to listen.
Those people are called assholes. By the way, I just want you to know, like, that's the correct term for it. But Drake definitely has a bar from that on that song with Jay-Z. And it's like, I wish I could remember what it is. But he says that, like, like about losing like people that weren't worth his time. And he was like, I think I came up.
Yeah.
And it's like, it was every basic chick's IG caption. I wish I could remember it now. Like, that's it. But no, it is a solid one because it's like, yeah, there are just people out there that it's just like, why am I wasting so much energy and time with you when I could be doing stuff better for myself? And it's like, one of my things that I hate doing, and it's crazy that I work in the profession that I work in, because it's like one of my least favorite things to do is to repeat myself. And it's like, I feel like that's what I do like all the time. Is just, I constantly sit down, stop talking, sit down, stop talking. Don't do this. That's a bad idea. Don't do this. Bad idea. And it's like, that's all you do to those people. And it's like, yeah, it's like, you're better off just saving it and just be like, all right, just do it. It sounds to me like you know what you want to do.
You got it all figured out.
So go do it.
You got it all figured out.
I don't know what you bothering me with it for.
You got it. You got it. Yeah. Well, on that note, man, out with the old and with the new. Appreciate you, man. Really? Appreciate y'all. All right. Make sure if you haven't done this already, like, subscribe, hit the bell. All right. Deal with it in chunks. I know this first year episode is a little long. We're going to make sure to get it together, but we had to make sure to get you this. All right.
Before we go, though, I feel like we'd be remiss if we didn't talk about one of the biggest losses that kind of like crept in right before New Year's is we lost Betty White.
I did not know that.
Yeah, she passed away at 99. She was getting ready to make it to 100. She passed like the day, like literally the day before. So because of that, I just wanted to, give her a shout out to like the community genius that is Betty White, and like, she will be missed. I know like we made jokes for years about like how she's immortal and like all this other type of stuff or whatever, but it's still sad to see someone go. So with that being said, everybody that's out there, like, we say we like and subscribe, stuff like that, but like, it's New Year. We love y'all. Thank you for being a friend.
Oh, I see what you did there. Travel